Tigers, it is with the greatest admiration, respect, gratitude for the impact of you and your commitment as head coach of the Wofford Terriers football team for the past 30 years that we officially name this field at Gibbs Stadium in your honor. Wofford family and friends, I present to you Mike Ayers Field. Wow. Double wow. First of all, my wife wanted to make sure that I spoke about our biological kids first. Katie, Courtney, Travis. Anybody that's ever been here in that locker room, you know I get emotional sometimes. Sometimes I get real emotional. But I want you to know from the bottom of my heart, there are so many that have their fingerprints on this day. When we took over, people said, "You're crazy." Why? Why are you doing it? It wasn't because of the $12,000 pay cut. Try to explain that one to your wife. But before he played East Tennessee State, a guy from the radio up in Johnson City somehow got my number, called, and he said, "You're the only guy that I know that has had experience both at East Tennessee and Wofford." And he said, "Bottom line is, why'd you do it? Why did you do it?" And I said, "Well, I'm going to tell you exactly why I did it. It wasn't because of the $1.50 milkshake, you big spender, Danny Morrison." What it came down to was we met a second time, and at that time there was a tremendous person in charge at Wofford that I totally trust, Joe Lasang. And people don't know it, but prior to coming to Wofford, and Buddy Sasser and his lovely wife Sarah Jean gave me an opportunity as an assistant. And I was looking for a job. We had been fired. Have you ever been out there in this world, this real world, and you've got children and you've got bills to pay and you have no job? It's scary. It's scary. Doc said the last thing. He said, "Mike, Wofford needs you." I'm driving back. By the time I get to Sam's Gap between Spartanburg and Johnson City, I'm driving this old beat up car, and for some reason I said, I got to go. I got to go to Wofford. We came back to Wofford, and to say it was going to be easy, it was hard. It was hard. But the bottom line was we had a plan, and I was blessed to have guys like Wade Lang, like Nate Woody, guys that were willing to commit to this place. They had played here, and they understood the value of an education here at Wofford. We started the journey. We were 5-5. All of a sudden, we hit on a guy named Sean Graves. And the next thing you know, we're 6-5, and the next thing you know, we're going to the playoffs. We had a dream, we had a vision, and it was to be the best team that we could be, no matter what level we were playing at. And then all of a sudden, this opportunity of going to Division I came into play. No one could have imagined this story. No one. And I can remember the day that we were picked to be the team to replace Mighty Marshall. And the papers, so negative, so unbelievably disrespectful. They knew in their heart that there's no way that we could compete. The bottom line was they were wrong. They were so wrong. They did not know the heart and the mind of a Wofford player. They didn't understand that we were going to try to find the best men to fight the fight, no matter how hard the fight was, no matter how high the mountain was. We would fight the fight. And thank God we were able to find those guys. And most of them, quite frankly, they were not a blue chip guy. They wasn't on the chip list. They were kind of like Doritos. But we had the right guys. They were tough kids. They were guys that didn't back down. They were guys that took that 2.5-hour practice in the AM in hot August in beautiful Sparkle City when the heat index was 120. And then they responded and came back 4 hours later, and they did it again. Every man that went through this program, every man, and I'm talking about men, my hat is off to you. My heart goes to you. My love goes to you. Because you made this program so special. Not Mike Ayers, you. You as players, you as coaches, you as administrators. I cannot imagine ever how thankful I can be on a day like today when all I did was one thing, and I tried to make sure that everybody else did that one thing, and that was do your job. And the bottom line was on that message, best you got with what you got, every day you got. I'm not deserving. I'm not deserving. And the last guy that I got to thank, and there's millions of you, but I got to thank Andy Kaya. I've got to thank Andy Kaya because every time we took this field, it was the best field in America. All I can say is this. You better be here at the game. You better be loud and you better be proud because there's a ton to be proud about. God bless you.